Hi there, Johnny Daniel, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. How are you tonight? It is Wednesday at 7 o'clock, I think on the nose, if I'm correct. So how are you? What's for dinner? Have you eaten already? So, for me, Cobb salad and some really good rosemary, olive oil rosemary bread. So that is what's for dinner. So, all right, now that everybody's hungry again, I'm just teasing. So for tonight, I am teaching you how to put ink directly onto the paper to create some interesting backgrounds. So shall we get started? I hope so. Hold on, let me flip you around. Okay. Almost. All right. So for tonight, couple things. For one, the retiring list is well on its way. Last chance list, however you want to say it, is well on its way out. Just for your information. So, let's see, what else? Let's see. The new catalog has some great things in it, of course. Yes. Let's see, what else? So next week I will be unavailable. Yes. And I'm trying to find my video on my page. If you guys are wondering what I'm doing, for some reason I cannot find it. So I will go the other way. So I'm not going to be available next week. The week after, on the 23rd, we will do the VIP event for the new catalog. Hey Lise, hey Iris, how are you guys? I'm finally caught up. Woohoo! So we will do the VIP event on the 23rd from 5:30 to 8, but honestly 8 is very conservative. You'll probably be more like 7:30, give or take. And then the open house for the new catalog will be on the 24th from 10 to 2. If you are at the VIP event, it will be a duplicate event, so you only need to come to one or the other, but there will be more at the VIP event. I will tell you that. So, let's see. If you're on with me, please comment by Friday. Okay, so right now it's live, but on the replay or the YouTube, please comment by Friday and you'll get the instructions for the project shown for free. If you order 50 or more in product with the host code below, it's in the caption, and it's FWJ79UV7, or there's a link as well, so you can order easily. You will get all the materials needed to create the card from the live. So, thank you for joining me. If you just joined me, because I saw my numbers change, if you just joined me, please feel free to comment, say hello, so you will get the instructions for this card. Alrighty, so for tonight, before I begin, the new stuff's coming out, right? But we still need to know how to maintain our old stuff, correct? So, older stuff, not old. So I figured I would show you how to re-ink a pad, okay? So I'm gonna pop this open just like I normally would. I have the coordinating ink refill, and I'm gonna drop a couple drops down in a row. Now, notice they're going down and not sitting on the surface, which means my pad is super dry. So you wanna get it until they sit on the surface. Usually it takes about a quarter teaspoon, and then I grab the tip of my re-inker bottle and I just spread it around, for lack of better terms. I want to make sure I go all the way to the edge, because we don't want any dry spots, right? Or really juicy spots. If you don't feel you're spreading it evenly, you can grab a plastic spoon, the back of it, and just spread it across until it's even. If you have put too much ink in it, there's one of two things you can do. You can grab a paper towel and soak some of it up, but honestly, that's wasting. Second, you can grab the back of that plastic spoon and push some of that ink over to one side, stamp over here, and then when you're done, push it back. So after you re-ink this, you want to leave it face up. So if you want to close it, it's fine, but realize our pads are upside down when they store, correct? So you're going to want to turn it over so that way everything soaks down in, okay? Because you've put everything on the surface. If you flip it and close it, it's not going to go anywhere and you're going to end up, it's not going to work right. So just let it set for like 2 minutes until everything goes down in and you'll be ready to go. Okay? How you can tell if you need re-inking. So if you're stamping and the image is not bright, if it's not consistent across, then you know that it's time to re-ink. If it looks like one of those bokeh techniques where, I don't know how to say it. Anyways, it looks kind of like a light is shining in the middle and it's lighter on one side, vice the other. That's when you know to re-ink. So I am going to close this, but because I just re-inked it, see how it flips over? So now it's upside down, right? So I'm going to flip this until I finish the live and then put it back on the shelf. Super easy, right? So for tonight, we are making something similar to this card. I'm not going to say this card because this card's already created, right? And they're handmade. So they're all going to be a tiny bit different. So on my table tonight, I have some basic pearls. I have bronze Stampin' Blends. I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool, which is right over here. You'll know why in a minute. Then I have my Comfort and Hope. Now I already have everything on blocks already, but this is the stamp set. This is what they call a distinctive stamp set because we've got a patent pending on this technique for stamps. And so it's a one stamp, but it looks 3D. Just the way they're cutting it, right? So I've got Pretty Peacock, Night of Navy, and Rococo Rose. This one is upside down because I had just re-inked it. Because I have some that need some help, we'll just say, right? So I've got on a block already, I have got this woven texture, okay? And on a bigger block already, I have the little, what are these gonna, tree bough? I don't know. So pine branch, yeah, sure. And then Comfort and Hope is what I have already out here. So all on one block. Okay. So for tonight, I have got 2 card bases. One is 4 1/4 by 11, scored on the 4 1/4 or the 11-inch side rather at 5.5. And then the other one is trimmed to 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. Hope you followed that. I've got a little bit of basic white sitting here. I've got 2 pieces of In Good Taste Designer Series paper cut, I believe at 5 by 3 3/4. And then I've got some samples for you, and I've got some no, this is the In Good Taste is cut at 5 1/4 by 4. I'm sorry. And then the Seaside Spray, which is part of our In Colors that are retiring, this is cut at 5 by 3 3/4. Hence, that's where it's okay. Got it. So for tonight, this is literally just the ink pad swiped across. okay? A little bit of an angle. You don't want to press too hard because it'll chew your pad up, but there is a sweet spot to it. If you want to practice beforehand, good idea would be to grab a piece of wax paper so it glides and you can figure out how much pressure and what you need to do, okay? Second, this guy was done on a bigger block, but I literally grabbed ink pads and stamped directly and then put the cardstock on top and rubbed. So that is this one, okay? So for tonight, what I'm going to show you is kind of a combination of the two techniques, and we'll see. I don't know. We might only make one card. We'll get there though. Okay, like everything. So for tonight, I am grabbing a block, and I'm trying to find the right one. It's important that it be the right size, but honestly, yes, dear, I can't seem to find the right one, so I'm gonna grab what I want and call it a day. Okay, so I want mainly the pretty peacock on here. So I am grabbing my block and pushing down in, literally, okay? And then I'm starting off my page and I am just swiping across. Pretty darn simple, right? So I'm grabbing in my ink. This is where you want to make sure you're properly inked, and I'm swiping across. See, if you don't want that, then you need to start off the edge. But I'm doing it in varying places, so it looks like I meant to do it. And I'm actually going to do one more up here so I can have 3. Okay? Kind of cool, right? So this technique is called direct stamping, okay? Or also known as DTS. Direct to paper, sometimes is DTP. You know, it just depends on what site you're looking at and what's going on. So I'm gonna clean this block really good because I have my pink, my Rococo Rose to do. I just want to put a little bit of accent in. But I do not want to get any of my peacock into my Rococo Rose. So I'm grabbing here and just doing a touch. So I just wanted a little tiny bit of that pink to come through. Just a little bit, okay? So I don't know if you can see that or not, but I've got my little bit of pink coming through. Hopefully you can see that. So that is my background. Super, super simple, right? And then on top of it, I am going to stamp some of that texture to bring it out. Just a different way to do things, right? So, let's see. Next week, I will not have a live. I will not be available to do a live. Just FYI for you. So, plan on having dinner at this time instead. And then I will be back at it the week after on the 21st. But my stuff is supposed to come in. So this weekend I might pop on just to show you the new products I have before I head out. So just an FYI. So you might be kind of looking, or make sure to push notifications, or you know, that kind of thing. Just hint hint, okay? So now I'm grabbing my block, my long block, with my Comfort and Hope and my pine branch thing. So I'm just inking it up. I put the ink to paper instead of the other way around. Why? Because I wanted to make sure it was all covered I wanted to make sure, see how, do you see how that detail comes in? Kind of cool, right? It kind of jumps off the page at you. So, anyways, so there you go. Now, when you're doing the coloring of the pearls, you kind of want to make sure that you use a blends that you may not care about too much. Here's why I say that. Do you see my tip? My nice frayed crazy tip? I think the other one is similar. The bronze yeah, it's worse. The bronze I tend to use for coloring gems. So on it goes, right? So I'm going to throw a bit of color on there. Now you understand why I'm fuzzy. And I'm gonna let those dry for a half a second. In the desert, we only need a half a second, right? So if you do not want to use the take your pick tool, you're gonna need to wipe off down here so you don't end up with smudges, because it doesn't dry on the plastic, it'll dry on the pearl, okay? Just FYI for you. So, since I want to do different than the other one that I've already created for the sample, I am going to go the different direction, okay? So I'm grabbing my Stampin' Seal Plus. No, that would be too busy. I thought about it for a second. Love it when it tears. It tends to do that more on the designer series paper, but you know, so you pull it off and you keep going, right? Just like everything. So let's get this down and get this glued down. Now that we got half of our wood peeled off the backside, it's okay. All right, so we've got that. We've got our Seaside Spray and our eclectic background is how I'm going to say that. And then I'm gonna glue this down as well. This is cut to 2.5 inches by, ooh, that's a little bit long. We'll see if this fits. No. Glad I checked before we started. All right, so I'm gonna grab here and I'm just going to do the old-fashioned way. And if you can cut straight enough, you can do this. I can't always cut straight enough. It really depends on how much energy I have. I tend to go more crooked the more tired I get. So I just cut a little bit off to get it going. And we'll see if it's straight enough. I think it is. So we've got there. Okay. And then I've got my bronzed pearls. And look at what I'm doing. I'm doing exactly what I told you not to do, right? Oh well. It is what it is, and if I have smudges, which I do, and the glue didn't come off, so let me put that back on and peel correctly. There we go. Sometimes when they get a little bit older, the adhesive does not stay where it's supposed to. Or if you get them delivered in the desert in the summertime, you know, there's a lot of reasons why, right? So we'll see. That one is a little bit loose, I think. We'll see what happens with it, if it stays put or not. And now I got smudges, but it is okay. It happens to the best of us. Okay. Thanks, Lise. I appreciate that. It's just a little bit different. I just wanted something to be a tiny bit easy and a tiny bit different. Go figure, huh? So that is what I have for you tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you're on the replay later, thank you so much for joining me. Have a great evening. Follow me, stampinwithjohnny.com, and have a great night. Bye-bye.